Hello beautiful people, and welcome back to another video by your girl here, Big Bubbly Beauty. So it is summer, and summer has come with a vengeance. And the trends that I've been seeing for summer have been more natural-ish makeup, or really just kind of not wanting to put a lot on your face because it's so warm out, which I totally understand. So I decided to hop on the bandwagon and see what all the hype was about a certain brand. Now I will admit, it's not just for this video. I've had my eye on them for a very long time, but just something about the prices just made me not want to jump fully in, and that is Glossier. So I bought a recent package and they came with this really cute sticker, so I just kind of went, hey, it's Glossier. So I got this package of makeup to do a full face. Well, or as much of a face as I really could afford to do. I was curious about a lot of their products, but I didn't want to spend too much money, so I did get a lot of products still. But I think I spent around $150 because there was a sale for bundles, and then I also had a coupon code. So it ended up being okay. It's a little expensive, but not too bad. And I'm just really excited to try out the brand. Now, I got a free sample with a primer because, I don't know, I don't really use primers very often, but I wanted to try it out. So this is the Glossier Priming Moisture Balance. And then this is a little package of makeup that I bought. Let's get into it. Okay, so I have the prices on my phone right there, but let's get into this. I love this cute little bubble wrap package. I don't know why, but it actually just is adorable, and it kind of matches my hair. I dyed my hair pink recently and I'm really loving it. It is already starting to fade, but I still quite love pink on me. Like, I never thought I would, but pink is definitely a good color for me, like magenta. Anyways, I love this packaging. Now you can get it without the extra packaging, which I think is really nice too, but I wanted the full experience at least once. And I will admit, I was watching a YouTuber's video and she was doing a review on the Ultra Lips, so that's why I kind of decided to get something in the first place. I'm sorry, my straps keep falling down. This thing isn't quite tight enough up top, so if I keep pulling on them, I'm so sorry if that bothers you. All right, let's get into what I got. So the first thing I actually got was this little bundle. It is the Perfecting Skin Tint and the Stretch Concealer. And so I got both of these in the shade G10, and they were $44 for the pair of them. Originally $54, and it was on sale for $44 for the pair of them. I open these up. I'm not quite sure what made me pick G10. I think it looked lighter on the screen. It's not as light in person, but it might be okay. Like, I actually don't know. What do you think? Will it be okay? Or is it gonna be too dark? Or maybe because it's summer and I finally got a bit of color on my cheeks that maybe it's gonna be okay. It might be okay now that it's summer. This is not something I could wear in the winter, but then again, it's not a winter makeup. It's a summer makeup. So this is the concealer. It's this little creamy pot. Looks pretty nice. I'm gonna do something sacrilegious this video. I'm gonna try to apply most of my makeup with my hands with the stuff that should be, and we'll see how that goes. But I feel like that's kind of like this brand's vibe, is a hand makeup thing. So this is the skin tint and this is the concealer. Plus with the sample I got the priming moisturizer, or moisturizing primer, whatever. So the next bundle I got was called the Ultra Lip and Halo Scope Duo. Originally $47 and I got it for $42. And so the Ultra Lip I got in the shade Portrait, and the Halo Scope Dew Effect Highlighter I got in the shade Quartz. Okay, there's like a ball of, or bomb of clear jelly in the middle. Huh. Okay, let's just see what that does. Okay, just looks like a typical highlight. Don't know what the little bomb of jelly in the middle is supposed to do, but that looks like actually a nice highlighting shade for me. So I didn't get it too dark this time, woohoo! Go me, and it doesn't look absolutely too light either. So that's a good highlight. It's not too icy. It's a little icy, but not too bad. The shade Portrait, as I said, I watched an Ultra Lip review, so I'm hoping that the colors on camera come across properly. It looks really bright and pink there, but I think it's, yeah. So it looks a little bit darker here, and it's more of like a tinted lip balm from the review that I watched, which I'm loving right now, especially for summer. So this is what it looks like. It's got a little G stamped onto it, which is really cute. Fairly sheer, but it'll give your lips a nice wash of color. It looks very dewy and very, very wet. So that looks really nice actually. And the last bundle that I got was the 1X The Makeup set. And it contains 3 products, which it won't tell me what they are, but it was $62 and I got it for $50. And it contains a cloud paint, which I got in the shade Puff. I've been so excited and wanting one of these for a very, very long time. So this was a no-brainer that it was going to be in my order. If I was going to order from Glossier, I was going to get one of these at some point. So I got it in the shade Puff. Oh, go back in. Go back in. I know that you're very pigmented. Okay. Well, I guess I'm stuck with a big bunch of it because it squirted all over my finger. So I'm stuck with a big bunch of it on my hand. I'll have to get a makeup wipe. But this is the shade. It's going to look massively pigmented. Yeah. So that's the blush Puff. Obviously, I used way too much of it, and a little goes a very long way. But that is what it'll look like. Much, much diffused out. Let's see if I can grab like a tiny bit and just diffuse it out over my hand here. Yeah, it just gives it like a nice little rosiness. Added it right here. A nice little rosiness to my hand. I've been doing a new skin regimen, and while my face looks like it's breaking out like crazy right now, that is because of a lot of stress. And honestly, if I wasn't doing my new skin regimen, it would be a lot worse right now than it is. This is actually pretty good for me. So I'm impressed with my new skin regimen, and part of that includes no makeup wipes. That's why I was actually mentioning it in the first place, because I don't use these on my face anymore. I do use like a cleansing balm thing to get the makeup off, because it's true, this does strip your face a little bit too much. It makes my face hurt after I use it, so I just don't use it on my face. But obviously on my hand, I don't care. I'm just gonna wipe a little bit of it away so we can swatch other things if need be. I got sidetracked. Next up is the Lash Slick Film Form Mascara. I believe it just comes in the one color, which is black. Yeah, it's black. It's got this little wand. It's very spiky. I'm not a huge fan of the spiky ones just because I do tend to just stab my eye, whereas the little fluffy ones are a little bit more gentle. Little bit more gentle, so I do tend to like them a little bit better. But that's just, again, I'm not very coordinated. But I got a mascara because it came with the bundle. And then I wasn't as interested in the mascara itself. I was more interested in the cloud paint and this. And so when it was in the bundle, I was like, yeah, you know what? Why not? Let's just get a mascara. So this here is the Boy Brow Grooming Pomade. Now, I don't know how this is going to work for me very well, but I got it in the shade brown. I think it was like the dark brown, so it's not supposed to be auburn, and just a good brown color. I don't know if you can even swatch these just to show, but is it even going to do anything when it goes on my face? We'll see. But I know that the Boy Brow is extremely well loved, so I was actually very curious to try it as well. With all of those, they had come to a subtotal of $163, and I got a set savings at $27. So by buying them in bundles, I saved $27. And then I had a promotion code from the YouTuber that I was watching, Chloe Wen, and it was 10% off. So that was $13.60 off, and then there was tax and shipping was free. So it came out to, at the end of the day, $138.33. So not bad. Again, for some people, this might not be a full face of makeup, and that's totally fine. But for me, during the summer, I keep my makeup looks very minimal, and sometimes the less you do, the better. So that's why I was really excited to get these, is because I figured I could get a full face of makeup for me, for right now, for what I'm looking for over the summer, for less than $150. So again, not attainable for everybody, but considering the amount of products I got and how hyped up they are, I think it was a decent deal. So definitely make sure that if you do buy from them, that you go check out one of the influencer codes or whatever. You're supporting someone who is an influencer, who's kind of working with them in partnership with them so they can continue their brand. And then also it just gets you some money savings. I mean, why not? Obviously, this is all paid for with my own money. This is not a sponsored video. All these reviews are my own. They don't even know I'm doing this kind of thing. This one of those things where I don't know how often I have to say that, because I am such a small channel that like I've only ever had one brand ever work with me so far, and that was partly because they're a very body inclusive brand, and they reached out to me initially asking me to be a model for them, more so than wanting me to be an influencer for them. So let's get started with the makeup. I've babbled on enough. In terms of the stressful things, like my dad was in the hospital recently, which is why the stress breakouts, and he's okay now, he's back home. But if I seem a little odd or distracted, that's why. It probably took me about 2 weeks-ish to film this and upload it, so he's obviously been home for a little while now and he's doing much better, but it was quite scary. Quite scary for a little bit there, which is why I'm not like getting mad at myself for my skin regimen not completely controlling my breakouts. So this is the Priming Moisture Balance Oil Control Gel Cream. Let's see how this does. This is just a little sample packet of it, so one use and it's gone. Not really much for primers, so I figured why not. Actually, if it's a moisturizing primer, I'm just gonna pull it across as I would a moisturizer. So the skin care that I've been doing recently that has actually helped me, I really wanted to try CeraVe, but they didn't have any available in my local store, but they had Cetaphil instead. So I decided to try that because I don't know, they seemed very similar. And oh my god, it's made such a difference. I think that I was over stripping my skin a bunch, and that's why my breakouts were just that much worse, is the amount of stripping I was doing to my skin was ridiculous. It hurt after I did anything to it. So I think that giving it a chance to calm down a little bit and get some moisture back into it was a good thing for it. So today I just used my Cetaphil cleansing gel, and then I used one of the sunscreen moisturizers, and that's all I had on my face to start with. Now my breakouts were quite inflamed this morning, so they were a little tender to touch, so I tried to stay away from touching them too much. You can tell on here like there's a lot, and of course it wasn't helped by the fact that I had a bunch of masks to wear because he was in the hospital, and so you're in the hospital for a very long time. I usually am for my job as well, but just add the stress of a family member being there, and you're wearing the same mask for about 6 hours, and then you switch your mask, and it's just like, it just traps everything and your skin can't breathe. So add stress and masks, and just my acne went crazy. It actually had almost calmed down to a point where it was basically nothing, and then of course stressful event hit, so it came back with a vengeance. But it is what it is. I'm more just happy that my dad's home and is fine and my skin can do whatever the heck it wants. I really don't care. More important is my dad's health. All right, so actually back to the primer though. It felt more just like a normal moisturizer. I will say it's a little harsh in terms of moisture, and my skin is very sensitive. That's why I was kind of giving the preamble. My skin is very sensitive, so it actually is burning a little bit around my nose, but right here tends to get inflamed really easily and a bit eczematous. Here, my skin is like horribly combination. Extremely oily with large pores, but then like eczema and really dry spots. So the rest of it feels okay. It actually does feel a little bit tacky, which for some moisturizers, I find that they don't make your skin tacky. They just kind of, for moisturizing primers, they just act like a moisturizer without the full benefits, but this is actually making my skin a little bit tacky for the foundation. So this skin tint, I'm gonna try it with my hands and we'll see how it goes. I might just like cave and use a sponge after, but we'll try it. I don't know if it's the way it's intended or not, but it's very liquidy, so maybe it is. And here's to hoping that the shade isn't too dark. We will see. See. Not terrible, actually. The one downside to this method of application is I can see it's going to take a lot of product. Like that bottle isn't that small. It's a normal size. It's 1 fluid ounce. But if you do it like I'm doing it, where you're using it like a moisturizer or trying to kind of work it into the skin, like I am, you're going to use a lot of product. So it was an okay price, all things considered, but given how fast you'll probably go through it, I'm not so sure that it's worth it. Plus, we don't even know what it does yet. So we'll see how it looks after I'm done working it into my skin. I'm already like on my second pump, in quotation marks, already on my second squeezy bottle drop, and it's only covered my cheeks and my chin. There we go, I guess. So I'm just gonna take a closer look at it because I'm not sure it did anything at all. Let's see. Yeah, I'm not even sure if it honestly did anything, but it looks really nice. I guess that's the trade-off, is it looks extremely natural. And like skin, I have a massive problem with foundations pilling on my skin, and I don't see any evidence of that whatsoever. Now, do I see it doing any coverage whatsoever? No, it doesn't cover a single thing. It looks very skin-like. My skin looks a bit dewy and hydrated, but could that have been the moisturizing primer? I don't know. And I guess it did a bit of what it was set out to do, which was it did even my skin tone a little bit. So it made it a bit more even, which is what a foundation is supposed to do, but it just didn't really seem to do a whole lot of anything. If we're being completely honest, I don't entirely know if that did anything. I don't know what to say about that. I'm just like, did it skin tint? Yes. So I guess that's what it comes down to, is it was labeled as a skin tint, not as a foundation. And that's the key there, is it's a skin tint. Shake, then smooth over moisturized skin with fingertips. Oh, I was supposed to do that. Blend upward and outward for sheer coverage and instant dewiness. All right, so based on what it says it does, yeah, it does that. It does exactly what it's advertised to do. So I can't fault it for doing something that I expect it to do, but that it's not advertised to do. So it does exactly as it's advertised, so it does a good job. You just have to be aware of what it's supposed to do and not expect too much out of it. So it doesn't do anything that it's not supposed to do. All right, time for the concealer. So the concealer though, if that's sheer coverage, it's not a concealer, let's be honest. So I'm gonna try it with my fingers to start with. And if that fails, then we will try it with a brush. Hopefully this will cover up the little acne spots. I just have my little mirror light up on here just to make the acne spots a little bit easier to see. So I'm not holding up much hope that it will be sheer, that it won't be sheer, because it's not very opaque on my finger, but maybe a few layers and it'll build up and it'll look nice. I don't know. I'm not gonna do too much, maybe just my dark circles and the biggest, brightest acne spots, because I do like that it still looks like my skin. My skin looks a little bit more even, but it does look like my skin. So while it offers no coverage, I actually kind of like the skin tint. All right, here we go. Okay, not a bad shade match for me. I'm just gonna put it on a few blemishes and then blend it in. So as I was saying, I got it in the same shade as I did the skin tint, which I was worried was gonna be too dark for me. It's hard to tell if it's too dark or too light right now. I think the lights are messing me up a bit. So it might just be perfect. Okay, so it's not the most full coverage concealer, which is a little... I like my concealers to cover up my blemishes. It's letting them peek through a little bit, but it's not doing a bad job either. It's definitely toning them down. It's canceling some of the redness. I think that if I wasn't having such massive breakouts, this might be a good concealer for me, because it's not really looking cakey or settling too much on my face. It's just not fully covering, but it is toning them down. So like something for like an everyday kind of makeup look or touch-ups on the go, I think this would be really good. So it did a pretty good job. It didn't make it look cakey. It didn't cling too much. It's not as full coverage as you might want or like. It's just, yeah, it's a more sheer, not sheer, but like medium. Let's say medium to sheer concealer. So if you have great skin, I think this might be a good product for you. If you don't have great skin, then maybe not, but it also doesn't feel heavy, which is another thing. A lot of concealers tend to feel heavy on my blemishes and I feel like they can't breathe, which is just gonna make the blemishes worse. So I guess it's like a catch-22. It depends on how confident you are in your own skin. If you are pretty confident in your skin and you just want like a little bit of extra oomph, then the skin tint and concealer are for you. If you need a lot of help with your skin, then not so much. Okay, if you have any lines or wrinkles under your eyes, it's not the best concealer for that. It does settle into lines something fierce, so beware. Not a good under eye concealer. whatsoever. Not good, not good, not good. But I think my previous thoughts still stand that if you don't have a lot to correct or don't have a lot that you want to cover up per se, then it's a pretty good concealer. It's like, it just helps diminish the look rather than cover it up. So if you still like your actual skin to show through, like your freckles and stuff like that, or beauty marks like that one, then it's still a good concealer for that. Just not if you're doing a full face of makeup. If you want more of the natural, it feels pretty weightless kind of creamy thing, then yes. If you want actual makeup, no. Okay, I guess we'll try, it doesn't really matter now what order I go in. I'm gonna try the cloud paint. Note to self, a little goes a very long way. Time to see how this applies. We're gonna start with my fingers, but I tend to like to apply these kinds of things with a brush or a sponge, but we'll see. The weather outside is just terrible right now. Taking a very tiny amount with my finger, and we're just gonna add a little bit of color. It's like, oh, it's not doing anything, never mind. That looks really subtle and natural. Wow. It's very easy to be heavy-handed with it though. It did pull off a bit of the concealer though, but that might just be how I'm applying it rather than the actual product itself, because this blends beautifully into the skin. And I'm not sure how well that's showing up on camera though, but in person it's just giving this beautiful, like, natural rosy glow. Like, it's a perfect, this is how I blush color. Like, this is my actual cheeks when they turn red kind of color. So that's actually kind of nice and incredible. Gonna put a little bit on my nose because I'm that person who likes the blush draping. Now I have this ridiculous amount of cloud paint on my finger still because it just squirted everywhere, and I don't want to overdo it because I like how it looks right now. RIP. So easy to apply. So, like, it blended out beautifully. It looks really natural. I have no idea if you can see it or not because I'm kind of blind myself and I can't see myself in the camera, but in person it looked good. It looks really good. I'm actually very happy with it. All right, next up is the Halo Scope Dew Effect Highlighter in Quartz. So I'm not quite sure how to apply this because it's got a little center stick thing. So I'm gonna just circle a little bit on my highlight. Oh, it's very dewy. Just like a bit of dew. Not very impactful, but it's nice. But a little bit heavier on this side, and you can tell. It still looks really good. It looks just kind of wet. Or at least it does in person. Maybe the camera's picking up a little bit differently. No, that looks pretty nice. So that's the highlighter. It just makes everything look a little bit wet. Again, it's not very impactful or impactful at all. But I don't think it's supposed to be. I think it's just supposed to make you look wet and dewy. And I think it does what it's supposed to do, honestly. I think a lot of these products are meant to make you look like you're not wearing makeup at all. And really, it's succeeding. I don't look like I'm wearing makeup, but just have natural rosy cheeks and a bit of dewy skin. I mean, it depends on what your vibe is, right? Okay, time for the boy brow, which is probably the most hyped, one of the most hyped products ever from Glossier. So let's try this. As soon as you mess up, you're like, yep, it's doing something. That was actually the quickest it's ever been to do my brows. They don't look overdone, which is a common problem for me. And yeah, looks pretty nice. Still looks pretty natural. Again, I think that's the vibe of this makeup line, is decently natural. All right, lashes. I'm gonna be sad actually if it goes with the theme of it's natural, but we'll try it. This is the Lash Slick. Try not to poke my eyeball with the spiky bristles. We'll see. Yes, I'm a human being who can do my eyelashes with my mouth closed, but it's a lot harder. Ah, cloud paint on my finger. I hope I didn't touch my dress with that. Okay, I have to admit I'm pleasantly surprised. That did a decent job at lifting and separating the lashes and just lengthening them. And it's a pretty impactful mascara while still looking decently natural. I'm actually super impressed with this. This is just from one coat. I don't think I'm going to do more because I really like how it looks, and I think more will make it look actually more makeup-y. But this still looks decently natural, but like more lifted, more separated, more just pretty. I'm kind of very impressed with that. I was prepared to roast this thing and I wasn't even going to get it initially, but I actually really like it. Okay. Last but not least, the Ultra Lip. The reason why I pulled the trigger in the first place. This is in the shade Portrait. I'm gonna have to check my dress for like pink spots on it later because of the cloud paint. Oh dear. Here we go with the Ultra Lip. Now this entire thing has been kind of nice because you've been applying mostly with your fingers, so I mean, this is its own little applicator, so this is kind of cool. Let's go. That's actually decently pigmented. I didn't expect to be that pigmented, so I like how balmy that feels. It feels really good. That's a really pretty color. It's very soft, but like impactful. What do you think? And I like the dewiness of it. It makes my lips look really good. All right, so final thoughts. I actually really like all these products. I can't roast any of them. I thought I was gonna roast the skin tint, but really it does what it says it's supposed to do, which is tint the skin. So I can't really roast it for that. It looks so nice overall. Now that the concealer's had some time to warm up, it no longer is settling into my lines in my eyes. It's actually staying pretty well and not sinking. So I actually have to retract my earlier gripe with it. So it's actually doing a pretty good job now. So I'm actually kind of blown away. Now, you are paying a lot of money for stuff that makes it look like you have no makeup on. But is it hella beautiful? Yeah. I like that it makes me look like I'm just a natural me, but just a little bit better. I really love the effect that it gives. This, as I said, it's a skin tint, so it evened but didn't cover anything. So of course it looks very skin-like. It doesn't feel cakey or dry. It gave a bit of dewiness to my face. So I actually like it, even though it added no coverage. I still think it's nice because it does what it says it does. The stretch concealer doesn't conceal perfectly, but as it warms up to your skin, it like sinks in very nicely and it looks like you don't even have concealer on anymore. So while some stuff is peeking through a little bit more than I would like, it looks so natural. So I like that. Cloud paint, very overpowered, but very wonderful. I like my cream blushes that are extremely pigmented because I just go tap, 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 done. And then it seems to last for the whole day. So I like them. The Dewy Effect highlighter, I mean, it's very, very subtle. Again, so not something if you want a not natural look, but if you want to go for a more natural look, it's perfect because it just has a little bit of dewiness, a little bit of shine, makes you look a little wet, and it's kind of nice. It is a little bit weird because of the little middle bit. I'm not quite sure how you're supposed to use it, but I think it did okay. I think it's fine, or at least to me it looks okay. I've not got my glasses on again, so I'm a little blind, but I've been holding the mirror up really close. So I like that as well. The Boy Brow, okay, I kind of get the hype. It's really easy to use. It's so easy to use. And it did a good job at like filling in a tiny bit with color, but not looking overpowering, made them stay in place. Like, okay, I get it. It's nice. It's very nice. The mascara was the most surprising product for me because I actually really like it. I have a hard time finding mascaras that I like, and this gave like a really nice effect without being overpowering, without like clumping too much. It's very comfortable. I'm kind of blown away. The black color is really like pristine black, so it's very impactful just in the color, and then it actually lifted and separated much more than I expected. My lashes are pretty straight, so it gave them a tiny bit of curve, and it's not very volumizing, but again, I have a lot of lashes that are just straight, so you can't really see them a lot. So it did add a bit to them, and I do really like it. It's probably going to be my go-to mascara from now on. And then last but not least, the thing that I actually knew that I would like, which is this lip balm. Not lip balm, the Portrait, what did they call it? Ultra Lip. That's what it is. The Ultra Lip was really good, and it did what it said it would, which is nourishing care and hydration and a little bit of color, and it looks really, really nice. It didn't settle into any of the lines, it doesn't crease, it doesn't like come on patchy. It's decently pigmented for the fact that it's like more balm-like, more lip glossy, so I quite like it. No special claims on anything. They're pretty upfront with what everything does and what they're expected to do, which is actually like a key. It doesn't promise too much, true, but it delivers on what it promises, and that is huge because a lot of brands will be like, oh, this looks so full coverage, but this is so full coverage, but it'll look like just like your natural skin. Which, no, but I like everything. That was really, I'm actually kind of impressed because I'm going to be using everything that's in this haul. I don't think there's a single product in here that I don't like. And I like how it all came together. Like, it looks really good all together. Like, you guys might be thinking I'm crazy because I don't look any different than when I started, but I like it. So that was the haul with Glossier Full Face of Makeup. I hope you all enjoyed. Let me know down below what you thought of each product as it went on. Am I completely crazy and you didn't notice any difference and I'm a crazy person? Let me know. Or did you really like how it looked? Tell me what your favorite thing was. Would you buy from Glossier? Let me know in the comments down below. As always, I hope you have a wonderful day, beautiful people. Bye.